Howdy to the class of '69, and welcome back to Aggie Land for your 50th anniversary reunion. A lot has changed at Texas A&M in the decades since you were daily called to Duncan, took classes in the chemistry building, or kissed your sweetheart at Kyle. But the spirit is the same. The class of 1969 was among the first classes since A&M changed its name from the Agricultural and Mechanical College of Texas to Texas A&M University. Your class has remained at the forefront of the school's innovations, providing a number of endowed scholarships as class gifts to ensure the next generation of Aggies is able to create and solve and push each other and A&M forward. You number among the more than 450,000 living alumni, residing in more than 150 countries around the world. From 12,733 students enrolled your senior year to more than 68,000 in 2018, A&M's campus has had to expand over the years, but many familiar spots remain. The beautiful and iconic academic building is still the centerpiece of the campus. Now students study on its lawn, dubbed Academic Plaza, and relax with friends in hammocks or on the lawn. Inside the building, a larger-than-life mosaic tile seal, courtesy of the class of 1978, adorns the floor in the rotunda of the more than 100-year-old building. It was the first ever colorized version of the university seal and remains an attraction for visitors to the building. The replica Liberty Bell, donated to honor Aggies who made sacrifices in defense of the nation, remains, but is now suspended under the dome. The statue of Lawrence Sullivan Ross still guards the building, and students shower the bronze statue with pennies around finals time, hoping for a little luck. Corps boots still tap across the pavement. The Ross volunteers still solemnly salute during silver taps. A familiar sight in Academic Plaza has gained new roots and tradition. The Century Tree, a large oak tree on the south side of Bolton Hall, has gained popularity in the last few decades as a proposal spot. Many a cadet and non-reg alike have popped the question under the tree's branches. Continuing down a path familiar to every former cadet, Military Walk remains an intrinsic part of campus. Brought to renewed grandeur, the history-laden walkway was restored in 2010 through a $4 million gift by Dan A. Hughes, class of '51. The Young Men's Christian Association remains a landmark in the center of main campus. The building launched the tradition of Midnight Yell from its front steps, and still hosts yells from time to time when the boys at Kyle Field run out of time. The beautiful old building has gone through a number of significant changes over the years, losing its chapel, pool, and bowling alley to make way for modern use. Moving northward, a true icon on campus has made a short jump across the street to a new home, Fish Pond, originally a gift of the class of 1938. Since its creation, it has become a tradition for the Yell leaders to be thrown into Fish Pond by the Corps of Cadets freshmen following Aggie football victories at Kyle. In 2011, the fountain was moved from its original location at the intersection of Ross and Houston Streets to its current location in front of Sabisa Dining Hall, which looks today much as it has since its construction in 1913. The interior, however, got a $4 million makeover in 2014, adding a mezzanine level and other alterations to the building's flow and offerings. Hullabaloo Hall is a new addition to the north side of campus. Facing University Drive, just across from Northgate, the 5-story co-ed dorm is a state-of-the-art facility focused on integrating the social and academic spirit. While living on campus is not required, many freshmen choose to spend their first year on campus. Just south of Hullabaloo, Albritton Bell Tower now stands at the west entrance to the main campus. Built in 1984, Albritton towers 138 feet above Old Main Drive and Wellborn Road. and its Westminster chimes and 49 carillon bells ring every quarter hour. These bells, which weigh 17 tons combined, were made in a 200-year-old French foundry and play hymns and anthems like Spirit of Aggieland for silver taps and other special events. The drill field that runs along Old Main has long been a site for cadets to practice drill formations and conduct final review. It was formally named in 1985 for Lieutenant General Orman R. Simpson, class of '36, who served in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Heading across campus to Eastgate, the administration building still welcomes students and guests to campus. Driving along New Main from Texas Avenue, oak trees line the path up to the front of the building, with its 14 iconic columns, which are now a favorite spot for senior portraits. The building was named in 1997 for Jack K. Williams, A&M's 17th president. A sobering addition to campus near the administration building is Bonfire Memorial, embodying the tradition, history, and spirit of Texas A&M, and the dedication of those 12 Aggies lost and all those affected by the tragic collapse of the 1999 bonfire. Since its inception in 1909, Bonfire attracted thousands of people each year to watch it burn, becoming a symbol of the deep and unique camaraderie that is the Aggie spirit. This spirit is carried on every November 18th. Students gather at 2:42 a.m. at the memorial to honor the fallen with a round of the Spirit of Aggieland and a roll call for the absent. It's hard to miss the new Zachary Engineering Education Complex. Originally dedicated in 1972, the gleaming facility underwent a 4-year and $75 million renovation to reopen in 2018. Adding square footage, the space can now fit 2 Boeing 747 jets north to south, end to end inside. It boasts state-of-the-art engineering technology, from 3D printing to woodworking, and an emphasis on space for socialization and collaboration. Students have 24/7 access to the building, and many take advantage of its green spaces, including the engineering quad. Looking south brings us to the home of the Keepers of the Spirit, the Corps of Cadets Quadrangle, or QUAD for short. The stomping grounds for the oldest and most visible student organization and leadership training program at A&M has seen a number of renovations since its dormitories were initially constructed in the 1930s. 4 leadership learning centers equipped with state-of-the-art computer labs, small and large group study rooms and instructional rooms were built to contribute to the academic success and professional development of today's cadets. A number of outfits have been disbanded and reestablished over the years, and women now make up about 16% of the Corps, having been allowed to join its ranks in 1974. Illustrating the Corps' commitment to developing well-educated leaders of character from all walks of life who are prepared for the global leadership challenges of the future. Looking right next to the Memorial Student Center, a dominant piece of Aggieland's skyline, Rudder Tower, an 11-story conference center, was built in 1973 and named for J. Earl Rudder, class of '32, a former A&M University and system president. The tower hosts meetings, conferences, presentations, and retreats, and houses a visitor center and restaurant, the University Club, offering panoramic views from more than 100 feet up in the air. The Rudder Auditorium hosts MSC Opus performances and other concerts and events. Every Aggie has a home away from home in the Memorial Student Center, Texas A&M's student union. However, this facility is unique because it's also a memorial. After the World Wars, former students wanted to build a memorial to honor all of the Aggies that had lost their lives during battle. In the front hallway, there are displays honoring the 8 Aggies who have received Congressional Medals of Honor. The Flag Room, also known as the living room of Texas A&M, is a place where students often gather to study, meet friends to eat, have meetings, or just take a nap between classes. Since the MSC is a living memorial, those entering the building are asked to remove their hats. Those walking outside are asked not to walk on the grass surrounding the facility, also as a sign of respect to fallen Aggies. The 8-story Doug Pitcock 49 Texas A&M Hotel and Conference Center opened in August adjacent to Kyle Field and the MSC on the former site of Kane Hall. The $152 million project was funded privately, and after the bonds are paid off, ownership of the hotel and center will transfer to A&M. The Texas A&M Hotel has 250 rooms and suites, a restaurant, 2-story bar, swimming pool, ballroom, and flexible meeting spaces. While guaranteed room options were auctioned off last fall, giving holders the right to guarantee themselves a room any night of the year, rooms can also be booked normally. On a non-game weekend, standard rooms may range from $149 to $200, and suites from $239 to $700. The 2015 renovation of Kyle Field was one of the largest and most extensive redevelopment projects in the history of collegiate athletics. The stadium now seats 102,733 people, making it one of the 5 largest stadiums in college football, and a far cry from accommodating 49,000 as it did in 1969. While at Kyle Field, if you were to look for the old basketball arena, G. Raleigh White, you'd be hard-pressed to find it. While the stadium's expansion was the final nail in the coffin of the 59-year-old Coliseum, its future has been increasingly bleak since the 1998 opening of Reed Arena, where many Jolly Raleigh-hosted events are now held, including graduation and basketball and volleyball games. If you head across Wellborn and College Station's train tracks, you'll head straight into the Lowry Mays College and Graduate School of Business, which consistently ranks among the top public business schools. The school was endowed by Lowry Mays, class of '57, in 1996, and educates more than 6,400 undergraduate, master's, and doctoral students in accounting, finance, marketing, and management. Across Raymond Stozer Parkway is the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, one of the school's crowning achievements in educating the best veterinarians and animal science researchers. From its launch just over 100 years ago, the school has produced more than 6,000 Aggie veterinarians engaged in caring for animals as well as pushing boundaries through cutting-edge research. Heading southwest toward Easterwood Airport into what was once an open field to the west of campus now sits the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum. It opened in 1997, making Texas A&M one of only a few universities to host a presidential library on their campus. It is now the final resting place of President George H.W. and former First Lady Barbara Pierce Bush. They maintained an active role in the university, hosting and participating in special events organized through the library. Bush was approached about having his library at A&M shortly after being elected president. As a show of support, College Station renamed its Jersey Street to George Bush Drive in September 1989. And finally, in May 1991, Bush announced that A&M would be home to his library. Located in the middle of the complex is a monument 12 feet tall and 18 feet wide, titled "The Day the Wall Came Down," and depicts stallions jumping over the rubble of the Berlin Wall. If you head back down George Bush Drive toward the old south gate of campus, you'll find the Clayton W. Williams Jr. Alumni Center, home of the Association of Former Students. tracing its history to the Ex-Cadets Association formed in 1879. The association has grown and adapted with the Aggie Network to be everything Aggies need them to be. Over the years, the association was housed in a number of buildings around campus before ultimately constructing its current facility, which was renovated in 2008 and rededicated in 2009, debuting the 3-ton Haynes Ring replica, now a popular spot for Aggies to visit. The Alumni Center hosts a number of events for both current and former students, like Aggie Ring Day, which annually presents more than 15,000 Aggies with their own little piece of gold, and the All Aggie Tailgate, which is free at every home game in Aggieland. The association promotes the interests and welfare of Texas A&M, perpetuates ties of affection and esteem formed in university or college days, and serves the student body, including class events like the reunion you are at right now. The class of 1969 has certainly left its mark on campus in a number of tangible ways. Spirit Plaza will be visited by thousands of students on a daily basis. Committing to the gift at your 45-year reunion, the Plaza honors our most sacred traditions, silver taps and Aggie muster, and will also be home to sculptures given by the class of 91 and 95. Right in the heart of campus, Spirit Plaza sits between the YMCA and the Koch building, directly in front of Academic Plaza. Over at the Quad sits the Vietnam-era memorial that the class dedicated at its 40th reunion. This tribute was especially fitting as the class of 1969 lost the most classmates during the Vietnam War. The class also constructed Bugle Stand Plaza and a meditation garden at the MSC, as well as created an endowed Fish Camp Crew Fund, endowed scholarships, an Aggie Band Fund, and much more, supporting campus and current students. Classmates have individually shaped Aggieland too. Scott Taylor, 69, was the chair of the board of the 12th Man Foundation when Davis Diamond Softball Stadium and E.B. Cushing Track and Field Stadium were voted on. Davis Diamond opened in the fall, and E.B. Cushing Stadium just this month. At Texas A&M, a university rich in history and tradition, we have some of the most inspired, motivated, and selfless graduates around, who lead by example and are fearless on every front. The campus will change and grow and push forward, but the spirit will always remain the same. And the singular group, the Association of Former Students, the massive and ever-present hallmark of the Aggie experience, is here for Aggies during their days as students and former students, there for Aggies as they make their way around the world, and everywhere that the Aggie Network needs us to be.